everybody, and welcome to the iOS 10 Learning Series. I am iPad Expert Dave, and I am going to be working with you today on exploring and learning the brand new iOS 10 lock screen. I'm assuming most of you have probably noticed that lock screen in iOS 10 has changed quite a bit. In fact, not only did it change, Apple added a bunch of new features. Now, the early feedback I'm getting is either people love the new lock screen or because it's changed so much, they're really kind of frustrated with it. So we're going to walk through feature by feature and learn how to use the new lock screen. And after learning the new lock screen, if you don't like some of the features, I'll show you how you can turn some of them off. I'm actually going to divide the new lock screen video into two parts. This way you'll get a chance to play around with the stuff in video 1 before you advance on to video 2. So I'm excited to get into this. Shall we dive in? All right, let's go. Okay, I've got my iPhone 6s with me right now. And the first thing I want to point out is in iOS 10, if you have an iPhone SE or an iPhone 6s or 6s Plus, 7 or 7 Plus, you'll notice that there is a new feature called iPhone Raise to Wake. Now, what happens is when you pick up your phone and you move it towards your face, the lock screen itself appears. This is handy if you want to quickly peek at your lock screen or if you want to initiate the unlock sequence. Now, Raise to Wake does not work with iPads and previous iPhones. On those devices, you can activate the lock screen by pressing the home button, tapping the power button, or by simply opening up your device's case if that case does support auto lock and unlock. Most cases nowadays do. In iOS 10, Apple ditched the slide to unlock feature. And I want you to take a look down at the bottom of my screen. You notice that I don't have that option anymore to go ahead and slide to unlock. So in fact, what Apple did is it replaced that slider with pressing the home button to unlock. Now, this new feature has frustrated and confused many users who are so used to swiping to unlock. Now, if you have a Touch ID on your phone, you can actually go into the Settings app and turn off pressing home to unlock. You'll be able to just rest your finger on the home button as you did before to unlock. I'll show you that in a couple seconds how you can actually deactivate that on a device that has a Touch ID sensor. Now, I just switched over to my iPad. And on my iPad, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, you'll see two dots and you'll see a camera. These icons represent additional screens that are to the left and right of my lock screen. And the white dot means that I'm at the middle screen or what would be the original lock screen. If I just kind of slowly swipe to the right, you'll see that I'm pulling a screen from the left over. And vice versa, if I swipe from right to left, see that I'm pulling over the camera screen. Okay, so let's do this. Let's swing over to the camera screen. Now remember, to do that, swipe from right to left. And when on the camera screen, notice that the features that are available on here are the same features that are available in your camera app. In the bottom right hand corner, I can swipe up and down to choose the different camera modes. Of course, the white shutter button allows me to go ahead and take a picture, which I'll go ahead and do that right now. Above that, that's the camera selector where I can switch from the front-facing camera to the back-facing camera. Also have the timer option. I have the HDR I can turn on and off. I can tap the thumbnail button there and I can see the picture that I just took. I can tap back to camera. And yeah, so it's fully functional. It's pretty cool. And this is all from the lock screen. Now, to get back to the main lock screen window, that center one, you can't swipe. You need to tap your home button. I'm going to do that right now. And now I'm back at that center lock screen. And from here, I can go ahead and either unlock it or get into one of the other features of the lock screen. If I swipe to the right, this brings up the Today or widget view. Okay, and in the widget view, it gives you a variety of information. First of all, you'll notice that I get the weather in the upper left-hand corner. My calendar pops up, but you'll see on the right-hand side as I swipe up and down on that area, you'll see a bunch of apps that has information here. So what the widget is, and you're seeing these little widget screens here, what a widget is really a extension of an app. So it provides you more information or more functionality of an app when on the lock screen. And as you can see, as I swipe through, there's a bunch of different apps that I have there. And depending on what app I have here, you'll see feedback coming in here. To add a widget on the iPad, you just tap the Edit button. I switch back to my iPhone because I want to show you that on the iPhone, that Today screen, or the widget screen, looks fairly similar. Now, I don't have the screen size that I do with an iPad, so as I swipe through, you notice that I've got the time up there. I don't have the weather showing. And as I swipe through, you'll see some of the similar widgets. And there's the weather from the WeatherBug app. Okay, and some of these widgets are filling in because the information is being pulled from that app. Okay, but if I swipe down all the way to the bottom, this is where the edit or add a widget option is. Okay, so when I type that, just like you saw on the iPad, if I type in my password, it will bring me to an add widget screen. Now this is actually, I'm logged in or I'm past the lock screen, but it says add widgets. Get timely information from your favorite apps at a glance. Add, organize your widgets below. So I have an option to move widgets or change the order they appear. I could tap the minus icon on the left-hand side to remove a widget. Or I could swipe down to the bottom and see that there's other apps that have widgets that I don't currently have in my Today or widget view. So I could simply just tap the plus button, that green button on the left. And if I move back up, you'll notice that I just added music. If I wanted to get rid of music or remove it, I just tap that and choose remove, and that goes back down to the more widgets. I'm actually going to add a couple more to add to my Today view at the lock screen. I'm just going to tap that, some tips, photos, maps nearby. That's good for now. And when you're done adding or reordering your widgets, just tap the done button in the upper right hand corner. And you can see down at the bottom of the actual Today view, those new widgets now appear. Pretty cool. Back on the lock screen of my iPhone, I want you to look way at the top of the screen in the center. You'll see a white lock icon. Because Apple has added additional screens, you may be confused by whether you're at the lock screen or if you have logged in and you're at the home screen. So the lock indicates that you're on the lock screen. Okay, I promised you earlier that I was going to show you how you could turn off press home to unlock, and I'm also going to show you how to turn off raise to wake for you iPhone users that have that feature. Let's start off with showing you how to turn off press home to open. Now this is for anybody that has a Touch ID sensor on their device. It could be an iPad, iPhone. I'm using my iPhone, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead right now and just tap and press and go in, and I'm at my home screen. And I want you to find your settings app. All right, so find your settings app. Now in the settings app, make sure you're back at the main settings screen. And I want you to find the general setting, and go ahead and tap on that. Now in the general setting, you're going to find accessibility a little ways down. I go ahead and find that and tap. Open that up, and I want you to swipe down until you see right below here, I want you to find the home button setting. And if you tap that, notice that rest finger to open can be on or off. Open iPhone with Touch ID without having to press the home button. Well, I had switched down before as I was playing around with this, but you can activate it by tapping it or deactivate it by tapping on that little switch on the right. So if you want to activate rest finger to open, which is different than pressing. Rest finger is how we did it before in the previous versions of the iOS. And that means you just rest your finger on it and it will go ahead and unlock your home screen. Now, if you like the pressing home button to open, just go ahead and switch that off so it's in the off state. Okay, very good. So I'm going to back out of here. I'm going to get back to the first screen of the settings app. And now I'm going to show you iPhone users who have the raise to wake feature. So if you have an iPhone SE or 6S, S Plus or higher, you've got that feature where you raise up your phone and it automatically wakes up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you, if you don't like that and it annoys you, how you can go ahead and turn that off. So I'm going to swipe over to the display and brightness setting, and then in there you'll see raise to wake. Okay, and if you don't like raise to wake, just simply tap on the rocker switch over there and you can turn that feature on and off. But I happen to like it, so I'm going to keep it on. So to review, what we learned today about the lock screen, the new iOS 10 lock screen, is that it has multiple screens now on the left and right. We'll know what screen we're on based on the icons down below, the dots and the camera. Okay, and then also we know that we're on the lock screen. At the top, we actually have a lock icon. Very cool. We also learned that now we have to press the home button to unlock to get in. However, if you have a Touch ID sensor, I just showed you how you could deactivate that and replace that with resting your finger on the lock screen. Now in part 2, we're going to look at interactive notifications that pop on your screen and how you can interact with them. We'll also explore the control center and the notification center as well on the lock screen. So go ahead and join me for that coming up in part 2. But until then, I want you to laugh, love, be happy, and get your mobile on.